Welcome everyone to the Killer Boxing Podcast, where we discuss boxing and business. So everyone, I did this podcast to really get into the boxing game and the business game and have people represent both in one channel. So today we got a good friend of mine and up-and-coming star promoter, Ricky Colosimo. Ricky's got a background in boxing. He's fought and competed at the highest level in the sport, and now he's becoming a promoter. Now he's obviously starting his management company. So what a good time to have Ricky on. I think we're going to talk about a lot of things. So Ricky, you've got a big background in boxing. You've got a big background in business as well.
Yeah.
So just how did you start in boxing, actually? I wanted to get into that.
Mate, I started when I was 13. So I've got 5 older brothers, and they used to pick on me when I was young. And so my mum used to say to me, she goes, you'll be able to beat them one day. And then so I made a promise that by the time I was 21, I'd be able to beat them all up. And so I started training when I was 13. And then at about 17, I started fighting. So it was good.
Wow. Okay, cool. And then did they pick on you after that?
They still pick on me now, mate.
They still? Even though you know how to fight?
Yeah, they're in a boxing ring. I actually was having an argument with my brother the other day. And I said to him, we'll go in the ring, and I go, I want to use my left hand, and I'll just go to your body, and I'll still beat you. And he goes, mate, the ring's the ring. He goes, I'm better on the street.
Yeah, I know. You guys, well, your families work, like, you guys will work, have a business together, right?
Yeah, we do.
You know, and then, like, because you guys have a few hotels, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Which hotels? Is it
man, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few there. So they're all across Western Sydney.
Yep.
We just opened one in the southwest, which is called Oran Park Hotel.
Okay.
So it's a decent sized business, and so the 6 boys have all worked in the business pretty much all our lives.
Yeah, I've been to Oran Park. It's an amazing
You've been
area.
there? Yeah.
I know. It was good. Well, long story, but I went there just for a visit before I opened this gym.
Yeah.
This guy was selling some equipment for the gym.
And you got it.
I didn't end up buying the gear, but I just had a look at Oran Park. I'm where's this place been hiding?
Man, it's a crazy place, like just out of nowhere. It's just a big, like almost like city.
Yeah,
just popping up.
One big farm.
Yeah.
It?
That's right. It was,
And now it's one new city.
But you'll see that it's one of the most developing areas in Australia at the moment. So in the next few years, are really going to pop up.
Yeah, and have the raceway there.
Yeah,
Oran
that's
Park
right.
Raceway.
Yeah.
Far. Big story. Well, yeah, Ricky. And then also I wanted to know, I want to ask you, Wanderers, where did that come from? Wanderers.
A few people have asked me that. So there's two ways how it came about. Mm-hmm. And when I was younger, me and my best mate, we used to watch the movie. We used to love the movie The Wanderers.
Yep.
And it was about an Italian gang.
All right.
And it was these guys are based in New York in like the early 70s, and they all come together, and they and their tagline was the Wanderers versus the world, and the world never stood a chance.
Oh, wow.
And so we used to love that sort of movie. We used to quote it all the time, me and my best mate. And so my fight name when I started fighting was The Wanderer. And then during that time, when I had my first fight, I went on a 2-year solo trip around the world. And so people think about The Wanderer as me in traveling, but how it really originated was from the movie.
Wow. Okay, far. And then because you said you traveled all around the world, that was after you had your first fight, pro fight?
So I'd stopped boxing for 8 years. Wow. So when I was 20, I was in the finals to go for the Commonwealth Games. And I was actually going to fight Lenny Zapp in that. And then the week of, I injured my ankle really bad. I was training down at the AIS.
Yep.
And then after that, I thought to myself, I remember being in the audience at the Commonwealth Games because it was in Melbourne. And I thought, if I'm not going to go all in with this and become a world champion, then there's no point doing it. And so from there, I sort of quit pretty much. And I said, I'm just going to live a normal life. And then I didn't box for 8 years. And there was a point where I was working in the business, and I decided to go on a big trip around the world. Oh. I handed in my resignation, and then I said,
resignation from where? Which?
I was working at a club, so I was running a nightclub.
Oh wow! Okay, which nightclub?
It was called the Cool Room. It was at the Australian Brewery. We used to get 2,000 people there on a Thursday night.
Oh wow!
It was big. So
was that before the Bella Vista?
It was before the Bella Vista.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And then so from there, handed in my resignation, and I said I'm going to get fit for this trip. And I looked up Thailand, and so I went over to Thailand. As I said, because I was going to South America.
Yeah.
And so then I started training in Thailand. And then there was a lot of guys from the UFC training over there. And they said to me, you're really good. You should come down and spar. And I had no idea. But the guy that they'll put me in for sparring was Brad Riddell. and
Yes,
Brad
I know
Riddell
him.
was a world champion kickboxer.
I was there. I went to Thailand as well, and I seen him training there. And he was competing.
Yeah.
He was a gun at
He was-
Tiger Muay Thai, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So he was a beast. I didn't know who he was,
Yeah.
but he was in the UFC and stuff like that. And so I came down and they said, yeah, come for sparring. So I was thinking it was going to be a nice, friendly spar. And so I rock up there and there's a cage there and there's about 60 people there waiting. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I get in the ring with him or the cage and no headgear, nothing. And this guy come out trying to knock me out. And so everyone's there watching. And the first bell went for the first round. And the coach goes to me, he goes, fuck, don't take no shit from him. Go out there and go for it. And then so I went out and we just turned it on. And I ended up getting the better of the spar. And I hurt his jaw. He couldn't close his jaw after.
Wow.
And then after that, like probably about 5 or 6 people come up to me and go, man, you're way too good not to fight. And then so I started sparring again. And then I said, you know what? I said, don't worry about South America. I'm going to go to America.
You got the itch.
And go check out some of the best gyms over there. And so then that started. And then I randomly just walked in the gym at Gleason's and I saw Buddy McGirt there. And it was crazy, man, because the night before I was watching a documentary on him and Arturo Gatti in LA. I flew over there, I walked in the gym and he was just there.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
it was crazy. I just went over to him. I said, man, I'm from Australia. I go, I'd love to do some pads with you. I said, I'm here for 4 days. I go, can we do it once before I go? And he goes, did you bring your gloves now? I said, yeah, I did. He goes, put them on.
Wow.
And then so we had an unreal pad session. And then after that, we sat down and he goes, mate, you look like a seasoned pro. How many fights you had? And I said, I haven't had any pro fights. And he goes, mate, come back again tomorrow. And then so we trained for the 4 days. And then at the end of it, he goes, change your plans. He goes, stay here. And he goes, I'll put you in for a pro fight after a couple months. And so that's how I got back into boxing then.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was,
So
mate, it was crazy.
you were in America
Yeah.
on a holiday, and then you ended up having your first ever fight as a pro in America.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh.
I had my first two
You did
pro
the reverse.
fights.
Most Australians, they start here,
Yeah.
they have a few fights, and they go to America.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
started there.
It was crazy, man, because I remember, like, I used to catch a subway every morning, and I was living in Bed-Stuy, which is it's a pretty rough area.
Yep.
And I was living there for 6 months, and so I ended up having 2 fights in America, and it was one of the highlights of my life.
Oh, as well as that, how was it? How was New York?
I was amazing. Like
Yeah.
I was in the gym training. I was only one of the only white guys in the gym, and no one really paid too much attention to me, and until I sparred. And so they got us in the ring, and when you spar over there, it's like a fight. Like you got about 60 people watch it. At any one time in the gym, there's about 40 fighters, and you have 8 or 9 different trainers. So like the trainers almost fight off against each other.
Yeah.
And so I got in the ring versus real good upcoming black slick fighter, and I was pretty nervous, but I ended up performing really well. And I took it to him, and then as soon as I got out of the ring, everyone come up and started shaking my hand, getting photos, and then it
Got
was
respect.
like, and then I got the respect, which was good.
Wow.
It was mad.
That's awesome. So a fighter can never really live a normal life, can they?
Ah, definitely not.
Huh?
Mate, I look at my life and I live so different to normal people, you know.
Yeah.
You're in your own lane, but
'Cause
it's where you need to be.
It's a thing. A fighter can never say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to the beach, go for walks,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
get some ice cream,
Yeah.
and just chill, watch TV all day."
Mate, I look at like the amount of sacrifices, like fuck, you do some silly stuff as a fighter, or the amount of sacrifices that you have to have, but you love it as well. You do it because you love it.
Yeah. And it's. I think it's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And I think because you get that same adrenaline when you do a promotion, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, mate.
You
Like
know what I mean?
I-
Do an
I'll-
event.
I look at what I'm doing now, and I feel like I'm fighting still the same war, just a different battle.
Yeah.
And I look at it like every time I put on a promotion, I still get the energy like I'm getting ready for
Got
a
the
fight.
buzz.
And the funniest thing is now, because we're getting much bigger, you're getting a lot more bigger challenges as well. So different people don't want you to see you succeed. So I look at that as like they're an opponent for me. You know,
People don't want to see anything new. They don't like new things. They don't like things that disrupt. Disrupt them. And I think that's what happens. Like when years ago I did promotions with Tim Zoo, and we did some corporate events for corporate fighters, and then we did Tim's show as well. So we did, and then people were like, "Oh, you guys can't use this venue. We own this venue. We're a corporate fighter." Something like that. You know, You're talking about, "Oh, that's Fight Club. That's my name." Like people come out, "That's my name." We're like, "All right, we're just doing a show, man. We're just doing a corporate, but I just so happen to got Tim Zoo on it as well as the main event for the amateurs."
Smart.
But in a way, it's difficult when you're starting something. Like I said, like I started this business. Like it's hard. You get a lot of people who don't want you to succeed.
Yeah.
You get people that like they don't want to see you. They don't want anyone. Like there's certain people that don't want people to succeed.
Yeah.
And I think that mindset is a limited mindset.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you
know
know
what
what?
I mean?
You know, when I first started doing the promotion, like people weren't taking it serious, and they're looking at me like, "Why you want to be a boxing promoter?" And the amount of sort of slack I had to take, especially at the start.
Yeah.
And for me, I was just saying to someone else today, I said the amount of hours that I worked in the lead up to that first show, because I didn't have a team around me. It was me doing all the travel itinerary, all the transfers, everything like that, all the contracts, all the marketing, and then trying to organize the teams and stuff like that. And leading into that first show, I never forget it, because even one of my brothers, he goes, "Man, what do you want to be a promoter for?" And then when he walked into the warehouse at Bella and he just saw the atmosphere and saw the setup, and he's like, "All right, this guy's legit," you know, like that was a big win for me. And just showing that no matter if you're willing to put on hard work, then you can actually pay off as well.
Yeah, I think I was reading a book about it, and people were saying that you do something, but you got to keep your hands on your ears and not listen to everyone else.
Of course.
Because there's always going to be people like that don't do it, and they're going to have the comment.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing that? What are you opening a gym for? Why are you doing this brand for?
Yeah,
Why are you wasting your time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're never going to do it. You're never going to do it.
Yeah.
You keep listening to those people, guess what? You're going to end up being like them. You know what I mean?
100%.
They're just saying that because they're not like you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
you know what was funny? I heard a quote, like this was early on when I started, and the guy said to me, he goes, "Don't be focused on the fame." He goes, "Don't be focused on the blame." He goes, "Just focus on your chief aim."
100%.
And I look at that and go, all right, if you focus on the goal, doesn't matter whether it's good or bad what people are saying, you just tunnel vision and you're going to get there.
Yeah, I think that's very important. That's a good
Yeah.
mindset to have. Ricky, you're inspiration to a lot of people, and I think looking at you, right, what you're doing in the sport is amazing. Like, I'm right behind you, and I've got my guys behind you as well.
Thank you.
And I think the one thing that that I want to know is like, what's the biggest difficulty you've had on your journey, and how did you overcome it?
I guess the biggest difficulty is dealing. How do I say it? Like, I feel like in this game, you have people that are going to stand with you, and you have people that are going to stand against you.
Yep.
And it's like when you're rising up and you're starting to make a bit of noise, you're going to have people trying to chop you down. And before, I used to care so much about what people thought or try to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And I realize now that not everyone's going to like you, and that's all right, you know. And it's a thing for me where it's like, no matter what happens, don't worry about the opinions of others. Just make sure that you're doing the right thing by people, and then you're gonna succeed in the end.
That's right.
And I have to deal with different people that I know that, like, if I'm in a situation and I know they don't want the best for me, or they don't want to see me succeed or whatever, but I still have to show face.
Yep.
And learning how to deal with that pressure and still keep a straight face, and then so like all carnage, all things, chaos can happen in the show. And I'm dealing with a problem here, but then I've got to turn around and smile and speak to other people and keep that composure. So that's, mate, like when you're in that zone, it's very hard to deal with, because it's like you're spewing at some things, but then you got to show a good face as well.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But it's fun. You know, every time that we're growing now, it's like every opportunity, every obstacle that comes is an opportunity to grow. Yeah. And I look at that now and go, even all the stuff that's happening now that are big challenges, I'm actually enjoying everything that's coming our way, because it's all a part of the journey.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, like I always say, perspective is power.
Yeah.
The right perspective, if something happens, there's always something else that can happen that can improve the situation.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So yeah, perspective is power, and that's my mindset. Like when I fail with something, or I lose, or I don't get what I want, or I'm unsuccessful, or, you know, it's payday for everyone. You know, I'm like, oh, no, expenses are on. Oh, I got to pay all these bills. You know, all the money comes in. Mate. All the money comes in one day, and then it's all gone. At the end of the day, oh, where'd the money go? Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, what am I going to do this weekend? But but it's always like, okay, it's not about that anymore. It's about health. It's about your being able to have that ability to understand from different point of view. You know, you can count all the all the bad things happen in your life on a single hand. But you can't count all the good things happening to you.
Yeah.
That's unlimited. Like you can't say like you're in good health. You know, you're doing this, you're doing that. There's so many things we can't count that as going good for us.
Yeah,
and that's what we forget. We're so focused. We're so zeroed in on our promotion or our fight night or our fighter.
Yeah.
And then things don't go well with that one little thing.
Yeah.
Everything else blows up.
Yeah.
I think that's perspective is very important.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I say, even when it gets hard, I always just tell myself, I said, just remember, you asked for this.
Yeah.
You know, like even doing all the shit work, it's like I have to remind myself I asked for this, and it's all a big thing people focus on. They think about the end goal and they look at that, like say a world champion like Tim Tszyu, and they're like, I want to be that one day.
Yeah.
But they don't take into account all the different challenges, all the hurdles that he had to overcome to get there. And, you know, that's what really makes a champion. It's not those parts holding up the trophy. It's what you overcome when it's you by yourself in the dark, and you have to work through all the stuff and overcome those challenges.
100%. You got to fail.
That's right.
You can't get success without failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why in the boxing game they have amateur system, so you can fail. So you can learn your mistakes and fix everything up. And that's what I'm all about, like learning and developing, using that situation to benefit the future.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
It's a good
Learn
way
from
to
your
think.
mistake. Yeah. So boxing offers 90% mental. So how much is your success in the business? How do you put on the mental toughness that you got from boxing?
Oh, mate. It's 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I look at different stuff, and nothing that's happening now I haven't already seen in my mind. You know, and I look at stuff about where we're going to go, and I can see the pathway. Like the beautiful thing for us, what's happening now, our little team have bought into it, and they can see it now as well. And they know, like, everyone's just down for it because the vision's here in the mind. The trick or the challenge is bringing that vision into reality.
Yes.
And so I'm just loving it because we're ticking the boxes, you know, at different stages. Like you have a look at this next show that we're going to do on September 25th, and it's going to be an amazing level up from anything we've ever done before. Like even just before our hostess came, and the amount of professionalism we're going to bring to this show, we haven't done that level before. And so we're taking those steps to really eventually get to the top. And when I say the top, we want to change the whole game in Australia, because previously, any of the stuff that's happened in Australia, we're not going to do it like it's been done before. A big thing that we're really focusing on is focusing on the middle guys and the guys coming through and giving them the platform, because that's where the champions really are fostered. And then, because right now we see the guys at the very top, like Tim Tszyu, Kambosos, different guys like that, right? But what there hasn't been is a platform to really build those guys coming through. You know, they get that cream at the top. That's it.
That's a struggle, because like I look at it like my fighter Jonathan, you know, a few other guys like Ahmed and all these other guys, they're coming through the ranks, but they're not exactly Tim Tszyu. So, you know, it's hard to develop and become that name.
Of course.
But you need that help. So you need someone to build the marketing, build the platform for them, because they're too busy. They need to fight. They need to spar. They need to train. They can't be worried about social media and all this stuff. They need to be focused on winning, competing and winning and doing their job in the ring. Of course. If they have to worry about too many things, guess what? And they got to work full time. Some of them, they've got to run a gym. They've got to do this. They've got to train people. You know, they're all doing multiple things to become boxers. You know, one thing people don't know, like when Tim Tszyu, me and Tim we started training. We started the gym together. We started training. Tim was running classes. I'd be running Monday, Wednesdays, and he'd run Tuesday, Thursdays. You know. Wow. But when Tim started picking things up,
you couldn't train.
We stopped him training people. We stopped him running classes. All he did was just train and fight. Yeah, of course. When you do that, just that, you become very good at it. Yeah. Think about it for a sec. If you were in your boxing career, and all you did was just train and fight, that's it. How good would you be?
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
So you know, it's no secret. The secret to success. There's no secret about it. Yeah. You just have to put everything into the same basket. And you'll succeed, because it's proven.
You know what you're saying now. Like this is a big thing. What we're trying to do, right?
Mm.
And then one thing we're going to unveil through our management stuff. So we want to get enough funds for the fighter that they can just focus 100% on their training.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by building a marketing machine around that fighter, so they get the exposure, and then we build all their sponsorship contracts or sponsorship documents for them. So anyone that sees them online, we can just give that sponsorship document to. And what we're going to do is start a GoFundMe page for each of the fighters that sign with us. And essentially, we're going to market them and build little embedded series around like UFC style, and then do documentaries on them which build around their story.
That's awesome.
Not just their fight, not just their fighting, right? And so when people see that, they buy into the person's story, you know. And then they say, if you want to back someone like John, then donate any sort of money you can to him. So $10, $20, whatever. All that adds up. And eventually, if you get to a point where you got enough money for the fighter that he can focus solely on training, he's going to go from here to up here. Yeah. And then the more money is going to get attracted, then more viewership, more everything. So that's going to be a self-fulfilling thing, you know?
100%. Because I just had this situation. It happens to me all the time. Yeah. Because I run the business, I run a gym. Yeah. You know, you get a customer call you, I'm looking at you sign up to the gym. Yeah. But the key is, you tell them the price, they don't come. You know what I mean? If you're a fighter, and you go, these are the sponsorship, 10 grand, 5 grand, 2.5 grand, they're like, nah, man. You're a good fighter, but I like you. Yeah. But then if you say, here's a video about me.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you put the price at the end. Like, wow, I'm captured. That video captured. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm in. Because you got to capture their emotion. Of course. You got to capture their, like, they got to find what they're all about. Yeah. What they believe in. That's why it's so important for the fighters to have that marketing 100%. Aspect.
You know, even now, what we're creating now behind the scenes is like a mini doco on how the promotion started. Yeah. And when people see why you do something and the origins of it, they're a lot more inclined to back you because you can see it's genuine. You know, like a lot of the different things that people in the game before haven't been genuine in their intentions in terms of helping the sport. But the big thing, we're actually coming in to actually build these young fighters to a level that the whole sport grows. And you know, when you build that into a story and the marketing of that, then that's what people get engaged with.
That's why the UFC are killing it.
That's exactly right.
Because the UFC have a storyline behind every one of their fighters.
That's right.
Like, I don't follow the UFC, right? I'm into the boxing. My brother follows UFC. A few people watch UFC, but I don't really follow UFC. I'm into boxing. I'm like all in with boxing. And like, but people who they follow the UFC, they know all the fighters. Yeah, because there's a story behind them. Correct. And before every event, they do the story. Yeah. So every fighter, like I'll know Conor McGregor, Khabib, and all that. And then I look at the show on the UFC for the weekend, and then someone goes, "This guy's fighting, that guy's fighting." I'm like, Yeah. Who was that? It's not Khabib, it's not McGregor. Yeah. Doesn't matter. This guy's good. And they told me the story about him. Yeah. I didn't know about that. But they know the story. That's why they're tuning in.
Well, you know what I mean? You know what's funny? I sent those embedded series around the fighters to our team and saying, this is what we're going to create for our fighters. And it's like you're building the storyline. So we've all got all the mapping and planned out that we're going to follow the fighters around to their daily lives, what they actually do, like even in the day of. So like their training, what they do in their home life, if they've got a partner, all that sort of stuff. So it shows a different part of them. They're just not a fighter. Yeah. They're much more, they're a human being, and that's what people connect with.
That's a game changer. Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, no one's connecting the marketing of the fighters with the promotion. Because at the moment, you're good enough, you fight on No Limit. Yeah. Or you fight on the other show, Pornosari's shows. Yeah. Or you fight on another show. But they don't build you up. You're just fighting. You're an A-side, B-side fighter. Yeah. And you just fight. Yeah. But there's no storyline. Yeah. So people who come support you are either your friends or your family.
That's right. Yeah.
But then you get the casual fans. Yeah. With that.
That's exactly right. And a big thing, even one of my good friends, who was a bit of a mentor for me, he said to me, "You're not a fight promotion." He goes, "Don't think of yourself as a fight promotion. What you are is a content creation hub for these fighters to actually grow from." Yes. So he goes, if you take that thought and really build these guys, then the whole sport is going to build, the fighter is going to build, then the promotion is going to come and build because of that as well. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's a game changer. Yeah. Well, look at the newspapers, right? You read the news every day. Yeah. What does that tell you about the rugby league? It'll tell you about this rugby league player did this. So they're suddenly, I'm going to watch that rugby league game.
Of course.
Because I just read a story about that guy. He's playing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They're telling the story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same as what you're doing.
Yeah.
But they've been telling that story for a long time. That's why rugby league's so big in
Yeah.
Australia, because it takes up the back page of the newspaper.
Of course.
And they're always in the media.
Yeah.
And they're telling the story about this guy done this guy done that. You know, it's never.
But you know what's changed now is stuff doing these sort of podcasts and that. People who come and view this, they're going to see what we're about.
Yes.
You know, they get the actual thing from the source, and it's a new age because all this stuff didn't exist before. Now this is a powerful tool because you can get your messaging out by just a conversation, and people can vibe off what you're actually putting out there, and that's what's going to grow as well, help you grow.
100%. That's what we're doing it.
Yeah.
We'll just get some quick fire questions to you, Ricky, before
sure.
we wrap up. All right, I'm gonna. These are simple questions for you, Ricky, because you know, quick one: early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Oh, it's getting late, man. It's
I've been up since 5.
up since 5.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a machine. Okay, coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Oh, Italian, of course.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Beautiful. One book everyone should read.
The Alchemist.
Oh, okay. I've heard about that book.
It's a good book, man.
Just tell us more about it.
It's the
I've
best
heard
book
about it.
ever written.
What's it so
So
good about?
it's about a young guy who goes on his own journey.
Yep.
And he hears about this treasure across the other side of the world.
Sort of what you did in.
That's right.
Is that why you did it?
I read that book and I booked the
and
trip
then you went to
after.
America?
Yeah.
There you go. The Alchemist.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy thing, because I went in a lot of hostels and that.
Yep.
And that book was in every hostel. You know, and it's
wow.
like a traveler's book.
Oh, right.
And it's like anyone that wants to go on a journey, they should read that. And it's like it'll inspire you to do something big.
Wow, what a book. Yeah, I'm gonna read it now. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it, and
It's a
people
good
telling
book.
me like you. They told me about it. You travel is a traveler.
Yeah,
Now the wanderer.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a good book.
If you weren't doing this, being a promoter
Mm.
and in the boxing, what would you be doing?
That's a good question. Now I'll be doing marketing or working in the family business.
Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, the family
Yeah,
business, bro. The mafia.
Yeah.
Where can we find you? Before we wrap up, where can we find you? How can our listeners connect to you?
Follow Wanderer Promotions.
Yep.
Or
At Wanderers Promotions,
Yeah, that's
yep.
the main one. Otherwise, you can just follow me personally, Ricky Colosimo.
Okay. And any final thoughts you want to leave for the killer boxing community?
Mate, you're doing amazing things. I think that like what you're building here is amazing. Even doing stuff like this, it's great for the community.
Appreciate it.
And it's you're on the right path. You know,
Awesome.
a big thing that we're looking at, we're going to build a whole ecosystem of people around the fight scene. Say even from dietitians to strength and conditioning to all this sort of stuff. And you're a big part of that as well. And you know, I've got to say thank you for all the help with the gloves and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It's been amazing. I love seeing the fighters fight in your gloves, and it's they look great in the photos. So.
Well, you know, I just feel like sometimes you just feel connected with someone that you know, like you feel like this person, he's on a journey. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that about you.
Thank you.
Because you're going for it.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? It's inspiring. It's also like when you see someone striving, like I'm trying to push. I'm trying to go, and I see someone else doing it. I get inspired by that.
Yeah,
it
mate.
motivates me.
Yeah, of course.
Because I see people. You want to be around people that are going somewhere. That want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Not going, but want to go somewhere. They have
course.
aspirations, and they have. They look at it. They look at at life like it's never ending. And we can. There's a mountain that never ends, and keep climbing. And that's what you do. You look at it that way.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, you know, I want to affiliate with you guys more than any other promoter, because I feel you guys are a small company, but you're growing.
Yeah.
And it's a great journey. It's a great journey to be on. And I think the most important thing, I guess, not the goal, but the journey you're on.
Yeah.
Because that's where the memories come, where the good things, the bad things, doesn't matter. It's a journey that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Mate, I look at these last couple of years and think, fuck, like what the little team's done in this period. It's been like, and everyone in our team is so G'd up for this next show, you know, and it's really the big step in the direction where we're going. And I have no doubt, even Monique's like, she's my sidekick, right? And she can see it. And it's like, if we continue on this path, we are going to change the game in Australia. I have no doubt about it.
Have you hired a PA yet?
Uh,
No?
I've got a lending hand, but it's not a regular
You got to
thing.
hire a PA.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe someone in India or something.
I got,
off.
you know what? I was funny. I was laughing the other day because we went for lunch and I had about fucking 20 calls at lunch, and everyone's going like at lunch, going like, man, how do you even keep up with that? But you just get used to it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you
just
get used
part
to
of
it.
It's part of it.
Yeah, right. But you got to delegate sometimes.
Yeah,
So
100%.
you can focus on the bigger picture.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, but it's good that what you're doing because you're a fighter. Hey, we don't believe in
You just
passing
gotta.
the ball.
You just
Hey,
gotta
we got
do
the
it.
ball. We're
Yeah.
gonna go in there and fight ourselves.
You just gotta do it.
You
That's
can't
part
take
of it.
anyone in when you're a boxer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Nah, thank you, Ricky. Appreciate it. We'll be in touch. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You're the first of many guests officially.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show.
Man, it's good to, and thank you, and keep up the good work, huh?